Yes, ma'am.
So I'll read the allegations against you. You'll enter a plea to each allegation of guilty or not guilty, and then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Freeman. Your case has been assigned to him. He'll have some questions for you. So you're accused of violating condition number 4, and it states you engaged in criminal conduct on or about August 11, 2023, as evidenced by your arrest with the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office for a felon in possession of a firearm. The charge was later billed as illegal carry of weapons. On October 4th, 2023, you pled to the amended charge of possession of marijuana, and you were sentenced to 2.5 months in the parish jail with credit for time served. So how do you plead to violating condition number 4?
Not guilty. I really don't know what's going, understand.
We'll talk about that. I just need the plea right now. So you say not guilty, right?
Yes.
Next is condition number 5, which says you engaged in criminal conduct on or about August 11, 2023, as evidenced by your arrest with the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office for felon in possession of a firearm. So how do you plead to violating condition number 5?
Can you say it again?
It says you engaged in criminal conduct on or about August 11, 2023, as evidenced by your arrest with the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office for felon in possession of a firearm. How do you plead to violating condition number 5?
Not guilty.
Okay. And then their last one is condition number 10, and it says you failed to pay your supervision fees. You're currently $336 behind on your payments. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Okay. Would you answer Mr. Freeman's questions, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. McGee, the claim is that you had the gun on you for protection.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, who were you trying to protect yourself from?
I had caught a murder charge, and they had dropped it down to conspiracy to robbery and stuff like this. So I just figure nowadays people want retaliation, even though I was doing the right thing, even though I was doing the right thing, people probably still was trying to, you know what I'm saying? Because people look, nowadays people just out just doing crazy stuff.
All right.
All right. Mr. McGee, anything else you want to say to us before we vote? We're ready for it to make a decision.
Yes, ma'am. I got a job waiting on me and stuff. Out there working for this man doing renovation on his house and stuff, and he told me he gonna put me on soon. Soon I get out and stuff, and that's really it.
Glad to see that you got something lined up. I think we're ready to vote. Mr. Freeman.
Okay, Mr. McGee. Your prior offense had a weapon, and you have a weapon. You know you're not supposed to have a weapon. It's one of the main violations that we do not take lightly. My vote is to revoke.
Mr. Roach.
Mr. McGee, I find you guilty of violating conditions 4, 5, and 10 of your supervision contract. Therefore, I'm going to revoke your supervision.
And Mr. McGee, I do agree. You're a third felony offender. You knew you wasn't supposed to have a firearm. I find you guilty of violating condition number 4 and 5. I wouldn't revoke you for the fees, but you pled guilty to that as well. So my vote today is to revoke the parole. Good luck to you, sir.
So hold on. So I gotta back up the time.
Yep. You can reapply for another parole hearing. We'll send you some information on how and when to do that. Good luck.
Yes, ma'am.
Signing out at 10:17.
Oh, that was fast. And I mean, I don't blame them. He picked up first degree, homicide charge in 2019. And I don't know how, but somehow gets out on parole and then is picked up with a weapon again. And the excuse is, well, there's no excuse. It's just he needs to protect himself. And meanwhile, he needs to protect himself because of what he did. People are going to want revenge. And it's like, hey, to give him credit, he was really polite, great, manners. We don't see that very often. But it wasn't. I'm kind of speechless when you think you can't be speechless anymore. Let's find out. I haven't seen this news article. Let's go check this out. Thank you, Richard, for hooking it up.
Thanks so much, Ashley. Well, Baton Rouge police investigators believe they have one of the people involved in a deadly shooting last week. Just a week after the deadly shooting, 21-year-old Tyrese McGee was booked just hours ago into the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison. And this morning, we know more about how police were able to nab him. News 2's Nadine Abusada is in Tigerland this morning. Nadine, good morning. What helped to get this investigation going?
Brandy, it all is around witness statements and surveillance video that has helped police pin down these two suspects and that are a part of the murder of Amanda Altamont and Stan Riley. Now, those suspects are identified as Tyrese McGee and Cedric Turner. Police obtained the video from the neighboring apartments. It shows two black males walking into the area where the murder happened. Then just 32 seconds later, one of those men, who was later identified to be McGee, fleeing the scene on foot. When McGee was taken into custody, he told police he and Cedric were buying drugs. He knew Cedric was armed. Once they arrived, Cedric knocked on the door, entered the home, then fired multiple gunshots. McGee said he heard the gunfire and immediately ran. Now, McGee has been arrested and charged with principal to first-degree murder. Now, Cedric is yet to be in custody. Reporting live from Tigerland, Nadine Abusada, WBRZ News 2.
Well, there you have it. Video camera footage, eyewitness accounts, but he was charged with not the actual offense of homicide, but I guess, what did they say? Principal. So let's go read this over. They arrested two additional individuals with last week's. It was a double homicide. In Tigerland's apartment. One of the suspects taken into custody Wednesday was 17-year-old Cedric Turner. The other suspect is unidentified 15-year-old who has been booked into juvenile detention center. These two arrests follow Tuesday's capture of our friend Tyrese McGee, who was identified through the assistance of an anonymous tip and video surveillance. McGee told authorities he and Cedric Turner went to Tigerland apartment complex to purchase narcotics. He said he was surprised when Turner allegedly took out a gun and used it to kill two people. Those two people, Amanda and Stan, were found dead in the off-feminist apartments. Both were shot repeatedly. Police found surveillance video recording at a nearby apartment building that showed two men walking from a building across the street. In addition to the video footage, authorities spoke with eyewitnesses who identified Turner as one of the two men, saying they saw him approach the apartments, pull out a weapon, and moments later, Turner entered the apartments and gunshots were heard. The surveillance video showed one of the men running away from the apartment. Authorities said witnesses also told them that a third man was involved, acting as a lookout. At this point, a total of 3 individuals have been arrested in connection with the double homicide. Turner was charged with first degree. McGee was booked on principal to first degree. And the unidentified. How do you get booked? How is there a double homicide? Let's just put it that way. How do you have a double homicide and you're basically out a few years later? So of course, this is all we have. There's no other information. Maybe he took the stand against his buddy and got that sweetheart deal. Maybe he lawyered up right away and they had no evidence that he had any knowledge of the crime, that he just happened to be there. I guess there could be a couple scenarios, but again, it's hard to think. It's hard to think though that, I mean, we see people getting books thrown at them for, again, possession charges, possession intent to distribute, but involved in a charge as a principal to double homicide and out just a few years later. But I don't know how much time he's backing either. And again, I guess without any of this information, it's impossible to really even make any proper assessment on this case. But it does seem totally bizarre. I mean, he was picked up on 8/10/2023 and possession of a firearm, which is like the absolute last thing that he's allowed to do. But there you have it. I mean, are we actually surprised in Louisiana? No. How much more time is he going to serve? I don't know. But we'll keep you posted on this. Thank you. We'll move to the next one.